Well, hello there, Santa Claus in a Hot Wheels car waving at you. Do you remember a couple of years back, I did a review of this Hot Wheels advent calendar that had 24 days, and this is what came out of that. I wasn't that impressed, but my son was. You remember that one? This advent calendar was a $40 item. I didn't like the fact we were just getting little stickers and plasticky things like that in there. I really wanted to see more cars. I think there were only 8 cars in it. The one that was sort of missing was the one you saw on the box artwork. Mind you, there was cool little plastic jet engines. I sort of like that. But there was stuff in here which just didn't gel with me, and I think I can do something far better than that. The problem with advent calendars is there is a Christmas tax. $40 for that. If it was $20, I probably wouldn't be so, well, hard done by. Now, what I've been eyeing off for a couple of years now are these 20 packs of Hot Wheels sets. Now in Australia the price varies between, let's say, $20 to $30. It's best to pick them up when they're 20. I picked up that set there, as you can see, for $29, so it works out at $1.45 per car. I hope my maths is right there. If you can pick these up for $20, well, it works out at $1 a car, and I think that's great value. The normal price for a Hot Wheels car in Australia has dropped down to $2, so if you get a car for $1 a car, that's a good price. There are other sets in this. I notice there's a bit of variety. They're actually fairly awesome sets, and I think it's the most logical way to pick up your Hot Wheels. I just noticed in that set there, do you recognise that car from the advent calendar? I think that was the main car that came out, and I asked the audience, was it a special sort of car? And of course the Hot Wheels fan said to me, no Leo, that's nothing special about that car there. So hopefully in this video we will re-engineer this boxing to be the most awesome advent calendar you're ever going to see, and add some bits on to get the right days and numbers up. I did purchase for my son a Lego advent calendar. That's the one for this year. Mind you, that must be a ring-in. I don't think that was part of it. He's been playing with this, but what I noticed was that he got excited for the first bit. It was a countdown to his birthday. We used it as a birthday countdown, as strange as that sounds, because these came out really early in Australia. He built some of the things up, but there were a lot of the things he never built. He seemed to have lost interest in this, but really all he was after, what I noticed, was the minifigures. He really seemed to like to have the minifigures. Maybe Lego could do a Christmas calendar that's just figures. Or maybe that's a dumb idea. Maybe they've already done that. I'm not an ideas person, as you know. What I will show you is what I think was one of the most awesome advent calendars that I saw, which I felt was really worth getting. Mind you, it was extremely hard to find. And if I just get rid of the calendar, I've actually de-engineered it here so we can see the toys. It was the Thomas & Friends Minis advent calendar, and I think this was the way I like to see advent calendars. This one here does not disappoint. There's some nice special Christmas themed Thomas toys in here as well. And on the lead up to Christmas, and it counted down in this fashion here, you end up with an awesome Christmas Thomas. Totally awesome. I'm just re-engineering it here again. Excellent advent calendar. They were up around the $60 mark in Australia. That was the 2015 one from memory. I hope I'm right there. And I actually found the 2016 one, but I have not found the 2017 one yet. One observation I made was these Minis advent calendars sold out really fast. They become extremely hard to find. Not so much with that one there, but I think I know why. And what I noticed with the Lego advent calendars is there are so many of these in store. So often there are some, or many, left after Christmas, and the price of them comes right down. One thing about the Lego advent calendars is there's a standard one, Lego Friends one, Lego Star Wars. There is very much a bloat of them. And I've just noticed something quite sad here. That's Santa's sleigh, I believe. I hope I'm right, they're not made up. Wow. He liked the little plane there. Oops, I'm giving away all the secrets of what comes in the advent calendar, aren't I? It's very nice little design. And what's really sad is he's never made Santa up. But maybe we can use this in my most awesome advent calendar. Okay, we're going to carefully unbox this. The rubber chicken is fired on this one because we need to preserve this packaging because we're going to use it to our advantage. And I think you could actually hack any advent calendar or styles of packaging like this to your advantage. Okay, very carefully pull it away. So we are going to want to very carefully flip this over. We don't want the cars to spill out just yet. Watch this for a little trick on YouTube. Woo! Okay, and we can take the cardboard away. Ooh, look at that. So this is the part where we can start to be as creative or uncreative as we like. You probably think that's the best selection of 20 cars you've ever seen in your life, but we can put other things in here to really ramp up the action. There's some things here that I really like. I like the cars with flames patterns. I actually like any car. One of my favourites of Hot Wheels cars are the ones with the Hot Wheels logo. If I was going to be a Hot Wheels collector, I would focus on those cars. The cars that I sort of don't like are the cars like this. Maybe they're your favourites, you know. My son would probably like that. There's another car like that as well. I don't know, I'm more into cars that are, you know, cars like that. To me, that's a stunner. I like cars like that. Maybe I'm showing my age here. But we're going to take out a few of these and put something custom in. I made an executive decision. I removed 8 Hot Wheels cars from the pack here. I also split up the cars so the other vacant positions that we're going to transform into different things are spread out over this pack. Lucky for me, I've got an assortment of totally awesome little toys. We're going to need these, and also got some Thomas Minis here. And we're going to start to pack this, so there's some variety in here apart from Hot Wheels cars. But the one rule is, we need to keep everything down below this line here, okay? So if we're going anything above here, it's going to start to affect how this thing gets finished off. I'm going to take advantage of the Lego Santa Claus there, and it's just going to be a random thing. You can set this up whichever way you want. I'll pack it in there. Yes, it goes below that line. Thomas and Friends Minis toys, totally awesome. In fact, you could actually pull out all the Hot Wheels cars and turn this into your custom Minis advent calendar. I'm going to put Gold Thomas there. Just looking at my assortment of toys here, one part of me saying put Redbird in, that was a Hot Wheels from a couple of years back, but because I'm old-fashioned and this is what I really like, the classic Batmobile. Okay, I'm going to slide this into this set, maybe up here. Remembering the rule is we need to be below this line and that car only just fits. Again, I'm looking over my toys here, and sometimes you'll find these toys when they're a couple of years old going for a very low price. Ooh, remember the trash wheels? Yeah, fantastic toy, and I'm going to slide, see how many I can fit into a bay. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, can I pull it off? Yes. Back on my piles of toys, actually I see a toy that was a fantastic little toy from a few years ago now, Angry Birds Transformers, and I've actually totally forgotten their brand name or what they were. Will it fit in, or is it going to be problematic? It's very, very borderline, although it's soft on top. Oh, it's transforming on me! Will it fit in if it's transformed? Can I make this work? Ooh, okay. It's actually in, look at that. So this is starting to look random and a little bit different. I think I've got 3 bays to go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try and find something else. Oh, trash packs, eh? Well, they're called Grocery Gang now. Okay, I've got a grab bag of those guys there. Bring them over to here. How many can I fit in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, can I get the 6th one in there? Oh yeah, stunning. Looks great, doesn't it? Trashies. Just on the table there, that was a toy from a couple of years back. I think they were called Zombie Zitties. They were like something that appeared when the Trashies appeared. Other little toys here. You can put novelty toys in like that. Really inexpensive toys that you pick up. A lot of these things you can actually pick up fairly cheaply because they're older toys. I think I'm going to put some of these guys in. Okay, they're like squishy Minion Despicable Me things. I wonder how many I could squeeze in. Let me just take a handful here and transpose them. We'll take them over here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I've got to get Gru in. You can't do it without Gru, can you? Okay, that might do. Maybe. Okay, I've got 1 bay to go. I'm going to put this Chica toy in. It's a little collectible thing that was way too expensive. I think it's going to fit. It's going to be too big. Okay, no, it's in. But in this space here, I'm going to put in something a little bit different. I like to mix things up as a bit of a surprise. How about a bit of My Little Pony in there as well, hey? Yes. Oh, I could actually get another one in there. And where they came from was something like this. So if I get it open and out of the bag with the magic of video editing, look at this. Pinkie Pie, stunning, hey? Very nice Pinkie Pie in there. It's going to be a nice little mixture of something sweet and something a little bit nasty. So I'm hoping you can see that I've got something which is very different here. You can be as adventurous or as boring as you want to be setting these up. I like advent calendars to be random and as different as possible. I like that a lot. And the one rule, no pun intended, is you must keep your stuff on this one here, below this line here. If I drag this along here, if I start to get hung up, well, that means there's going to be trouble. So at this point here, it is still fluid. You can change things if you want, and I am going to make a change. I'm going to pull out one of the original cars. I'm going to pull out this one here, and I'm going to swap it over with something a little bit classic. Now, there's a little secret in our house. The best toy cars are the old toy cars I picked up from the charity shop. There are some toys in here that remind me of being a child. That's the sort of car that I was playing with. That might be a Matchbox thing, is it? Yes, it is. Way back in the... Oh, man. I'll give away my age if I say the early 70s. Okay, but the car I'm going to put in is that one there. What do you think of that? Who knows the Hot Wheels cars? Who knows about that car there? And in the strangest way, as I found out with my son, he prefers to play with something like that than the modern cars of today. So what's that telling me? There was one side of me that was going to swap out all the new cars and put these classics in, but then I noticed a lot of them didn't fit in the bays. And there is another car from my childhood. I think, again, is that a Matchbox car? Let me just check underneath. Yes. Wow. The memories, every time I pick these up, I just go straight back to being a kid again. And they are really nice weighted cars. A lot of metal in those. There's some beauties in here. It really is a bit of an insight into the way it used to be without getting cranky. Okay, the next part is actually pretty simple, although there are a couple of glues that I found out that work and don't work. And just let me show you something that I prepared earlier without sounding like the Curiosity Show. I actually went ahead and I sort of did one as an experiment because I needed to know what works and doesn't work, and this is what the finished product looks like. What's really important when I went to put paper over this is the paper needs to be adhered really well to each bay, because when we break into a bay, we don't want to be breaking into the paper into the other bays as well and revealing more toys. We just want to be revealing one at a time. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to choose one of these ones to break into. Where will I start? Maybe it did need numbers. Maybe the best place to try is here, and the glue I used was an epoxy glue, and I think we need a really good bond. Let's just see how good it is. I'm going to start breaking into a bay. Hopefully the paper will not shred away from the other bays. I'm going to get this car out of here with my big clumsy fingers. Okay, oh yeah, nice find, wasn't it, hey? Okay, we have got the Hot Wheels car out. It's a fantastic one to find, isn't it? And most importantly, notice here that the paper hasn't shredded away and revealed another bay. Okay, looks like it works. Maybe to prove that it really works and that one wasn't a fluke here, I'll open up this one here with the, is it Luigi sticker? Okay, look at that there, ripping the paper away. Without exposing the other bay. Yes, I have the car out. It looks like this system's a winner. So already you're starting to see the surprise that's going on here, and most importantly, I'm breaking the paper here and it's not ripping to the next bay because I've used a pretty good glue, which is set up in a pretty convenient little thing, as you'll see when we come to do this. Yes, that glue there, it's really important. Okay, I'm back to my custom advent calendar, which is 20 days. We will be adding more days if I remember. The thing we need next is that cardboard backing, and this becomes the template to get the right paper size to cover here. This is the paper that I like to use. Now you have to be a bit careful on what paper you choose. You need something which is not too weak and also not too tough. You've got to find the in-between, okay? So this paper isn't like your most flimsy wrapping paper. There is some real rubbish about. You don't want that. On one side it's got that print there. If you want to do a party advent thing, count down to your birthday, you can. Or you can do a Christmassy thing with that side there. That's what I use on the other calendar. I can tell you one thing, the rubber chicken isn't going to help you in this process here. I've got a straight edge along the bottom here, and I'm going to hold this down as a template, and I'm going to very carefully cut around here, and because your time is precious and so is mine, I'm going to be as fast as I possibly can. So this piece of cardboard, which was part of the packaging of the Hot Wheels set, is very important. It will be put back into the box. We've got our piece of paper here. This is going to be the front, okay, because we want that Christmassy feel. Let me get the cars back. Oh, you again. Get out of that. This next part of making this Advent surprise calendar blah blah is very important. You may love this glue here. You may do some experiments for me and tell me if it works. I'm going to use something a bit different. It's going to be an epoxy. Most people buy epoxies or araldite in tubes like this, but I think This job requires a lot of speed. You need to be accurate where you put the epoxy. So I'm actually going to use the exotic version of it, which self-mixes down these tubes here. It's actually a very clever system. And that's what I'll be using to seal up this calendar. Now, because I've already done a test of this, I can tell you the parts which are really, really important to have done right, and it is the parts which are around here, okay? If you have any glue missing, there's a chance that when you pull one of these apart, it's going to rip across to the next bay. It's also very important to get the edges here as well. It's a process of not putting too much glue down and making sure there's just enough to do the job. When I initially saw this product, it was a while back now, I didn't think much of it. I thought, who needs a self-mixing epoxy? But when you press it here, it is actually extremely good for this job. There it is, mixing down the tube, yeah. Now, the thing about this job, and you'll see me working here, and I'm going to try and talk my way through it, is I've got to be really fast, but I've also got to be a little bit accurate as well. I had the advantage of doing the other one. You've got to do the edges. So I go around and do the edges first, then I come along and I do the insides. And this is where you need to make sure you get it all done. Don't leave any bits and bobs. Don't try and be too messy. And I'll come down the middle now. And you've got to work fast because I've only got a 5-minute bracket of time because the stuff goes off in 5 minutes, and it's a really good bond to the plastic and paper. That's really important. I think araldite, epoxy, whatever you want to call it, is essential for this process. Maybe you can work out another glue and then you can tell me, okay? And it's really important to get all the glue across all the areas between the bays here. If you don't get the glue done right, when you rip one bay, you'll break into the next. I think that's done. Okay. So I've got to work fast. I'm going to count down to 5 minutes before that glue goes off. Now I've got to very carefully get this paper in the right spot and land it just once. Can I do it by holding the camera as well? Ooh, tricky to do. Whoa! That wasn't Woody the Woodpecker, that was just me making a silly noise. I think I've got it on there. So at this point here, it's really important not to disturb the paper because the paper's starting to make its bonds to the plastic underneath there. I'm going to turn this over and I'll be putting some weight on this to make sure that the bond is as good as I can get. So with this very custom and maniac advent calendar now turned over, you can see the flip side of it in a sense and what I put into this. And what is really important to see is the way the glue has splurged out and bonded the paper to the plastic. It needs to be like that all the way around. This is the one thing you need to be thorough with, but you also have to work really fast because it's a countdown of time because that glue goes off really fast. I'm just going to put some books on here to weigh it down until the glue's fully dry. While the glue's sitting on this, we can go ahead and prepare the front window. We're going to take out the plastic from this box. Because I've done the experiment and done one before, it actually worked out. You don't need to cut this out. You can do it in a far more safely manner by just pushing it down like this, and it frees away from the box really nicely. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Once that plastic is totally free, you can pull it out and give it to your sister. Rightio, I've left this to dry for about half an hour. We will come back to the sticker books because that is part of our finishing details. And I will very, very carefully turn this over because you don't want to have anything punching through the front there just yet. It's also time to resurrect that piece of packaging that was part of this set, and we are going to very, very carefully lift up the one we've glued up and put it in there like that. Just as if you are wrapping a Christmas present, I'm going to tidy up the dags of paper which are on the ends there. And you'll understand why when we start to rebox this item. So I hope I'm not going too fast here. What is really important before you put it back into the box over there is you need to get the orientation correct. Now I'm looking at the underneath of the cars there at the moment, okay? So sometimes it helps to put a little mark on this to tell you the top of this packaging. Okay, that means top. Okay, the next step is we're going to put this inside this box here, making sure we know the orientation from that mark there. So it's a matter of just lining these up and very carefully sliding one side another. And I'm only doing this because, man, I've seen some rubbish advent calendars about. Something about Christmas time brings out the worst in retail. I don't know why. It always has done, hasn't it? But I think when you make something awesome like this, I tell you what, your children are never ever going to forget it. And it's actually a good feeling doing stuff like this. I've got the box and all the goodies in there. Now you need to make it sneak proof because your children are going to want to sneak into this. So you need to really tape this up extremely well and do a far better job than what I've done there. In fact, you probably need something more like this and do this to both ends. I guarantee to you the children are going to want to get inside. So there's one other thing we're going to do to this. It's going to indicate where each cell is. Now, it is a bit of a mystery when you look at this. You can't quite tell where to open it. And that's why I'm going to apply some stickers onto here to show us where each cell is. Now, what I've noticed in our house, we have a myriad of sticker books, and I'll just flash by them here. They've been very popular over the years. Titanic, oh my goodness. Star Wars, no. Minifigures, yes. I think I like the Cars ones. This Disney Cars sticker book is actually pretty awesome. There's all different types of designs and sizes. Now, what you need to be a little bit careful of is you don't put a sticker on that's a little bit too big. Now, you need to find out where the cell is. Now, I can feel with my finger where the edge of these things are. Now, that sticker there is going to be a little bit too big, but what we're going to choose is something a little bit smaller. Just picking off an area here. That's about the middle, somewhere there. I suppose with that bigger sticker you could redesign the box, couldn't you? Make it more awesome. With indicating each cell, I think it's important to get the sticker in the middle, and you can put numbers if you want. I like to be as freeform as possible. I don't like to formalise the advent calendar too much. I like the idea of being random. I'm just feeling for the middle there, and being a bit careful as well. We don't want to punch through the paper, and I think the surprise factor of being random is where it's at. Maybe you can agree and disagree with me. This is the last of this row here. Really can be as creative as you want. I'm just doing this row here, and doing this whole process actually doesn't take too long. That is making the whole advent calendar. Okay, so it may feel like it's taken a long time when you watch the video, but believe me, you can knock these out really fast. Maybe you can actually turn it into an industry for you. You can do better than what Mattel does. Okie Christmas dokey. There it is, it's done. 20 days at least. And do you remember where the Lego Santa was? Was it somewhere down here? Do you remember where those trash wheelies were? That's a curious one, isn't it? I like the element of surprise. I think the element of surprise works with something like this. And before I finish off, maybe I can ask you the question, which advent calendar would you prefer to have? That one there, which was the original Hot Wheels one with 24 days, and it came out with that. I actually did a full review of that. My son actually really liked what came out of there, but Grumpy Daddy wasn't that pleased, especially the stickers did nothing for me. And that's why I thought to myself, man, I think I can do this better. That's my custom one, which has got all funky stuff in there. And that one there with 2 Hot Wheels cars poking out has got 20 Hot Wheels cars hidden away in there. And I know if I get those at the right time of year, I can get it for 20 bucks. I've got to look very carefully at that price, but I know that one there cost me $40. And Santa there is telling me, yes, it'd be half that price in the USA, but advent calendars tend to be 24 days, and some argue it should be 25. So to boost past our 20 days, which is already in this pack here, these are my suggestions. You can do whatever you want. For suggestion number 1, here is a Hot Wheels 5-pack. So that takes you up to Christmas Day. You could apply the same process that I used to that boxing there to this here. You could load in your own toys. You can do whatever you want to do. It's really that simple, believe me, and it's far better than what you find in the shops. You could also just wrap up some individual cars. That's a Matchbox car, there's a Hot Wheels car, there's a Gold Thomas the Tank. Totally awesome, and what's more awesome than that is the metallic Lightning McQueen, and you could make that your Christmas Day special or Christmas Eve special, whatever. That's another suggestion. You wrap them up and put them around that there to get your days up. And if you've got a child who's a Star Wars fan, and I'm sure they're out there, you could wrap up things like this as the final days. There's nothing worse than a spoiled child, but there's nothing happier as well, hey? There you go, there's my suggestions. What do you think, hey? Which one would you have as the Christmas Eve special? Personally, I have a TIE Fighter if I had one, but then again, you'd probably pick the Millennium Falcon. I just crawled under the house and I found this wondrous twin pack. You just don't see those in the store anymore, do you? Or do you? That would make an excellent day 24, and if you really wanted to have a Star Wars Disney smack in the face on Christmas Day, you could add that pack in there as the wondrous Christmas Day opening. I know you're going to ask, Leo, what choice would you have if you had that as your first 20 in a random fashion? Well, I'd push the Star Wars stuff away. Maybe I'd push that aside with that one on there, and I would have this as my final 4 days. I think this is the way I'd like to do it. Wrap them up so you can't see what's in there, and your countdown to Christmas can be things like this, and I think the Metallic Lightning McQueen would be a perfect way to get into Christmas. Just thinking back to these excellent Star Wars double packs, there were a lot of these in the marketplace, and I noticed that they were being dumped at the reject shop. The price I paid was $10. That was like half the retail price in Australia. Now what I'm going to do, and you may know where this is going to go, I'm actually going to carefully sign my channel name here. Okay. Very rough, isn't it? Put a liner, it looks better. Okay, I've been a busy little Vegemite here, and I've come along and I've signed everything. I had someone recently ask me to sign some toys and send it back to them. I thought, hey, why don't we just do that as part of a giveaway, hey? Yes, everything has been signed, even the packs that I made up here. Oh yeah, even that one there. Maybe the most important prize in all this is the one hiding under here. We all want smiling slingshot poo in our life, don't we? Yes, it has been signed. So here's a ground look at what's on offer in this giveaway here. It has been a while since I've done a giveaway. The last giveaway I did had some trouble. Don't forget the slingshot poo that's down there, just coming across the other side now. Yeah, something about giveaway, it seems to be a magnet for trouble. Okay, we're going to have a giveaway, hooray! Some people are cheering. I'll tell you what, I'm actually crying inside because often giveaways on my channel start to stack up and cause trouble. Maybe I'll explain it, or maybe I won't. To enter the giveaway, it's open to everyone. Oh, I better say that if I exclude people, people get cranky. Okay, it's open to everyone. Leave a comment on this video and tell me your Christmas wish list. Now, sometimes Santa likes to hear people who are nice, and sometimes Santa gets a bit cranky when he hears people who are greedy. So which way is Santa going to be twisted when he starts to read your comments? It's up to you to work out that one. Your Christmas wish list, okay? Leave it as a comment to enter this giveaway. Now, if you want to really, really impress me, tell me a little bit about the car that I put away behind that square silver text area. Ooh, that's going to have you doing some web searching, I hope. Maybe you're going to tell me it's worth absolutely zero. Maybe you're going to tell me it's worth a whole ton of money. Hey, go and do your research, please. The meaty info about the giveaway, all the details will be in the more info area of this video. That is if you can find it. I think people who watch videos from mobile devices have trouble finding that. I liked a simpler YouTube back in 2009, I'll be quite honest there with you. I think it was a far grander site back when it was a great big amalgam of a mix of things. Maybe you can have your say on that up the end of the video. I might start ranting on that one. The problem I've had with giveaways is very, very simple. Problem number one, people start exposing their addresses in the comment areas, and this happens a lot now, okay? Don't leave your address in the comment area. It'll be done via the PM system, which is dysfunctional on YouTube, okay? And there's only one winner, okay? Please be very careful of the channel that asks you for an address, because there are clone channels of me on YouTube, and as far as I can see, Google/YouTube don't want to pull these clone channels down. Welcome to YouTube 2017, and I'm starting to rant again. The other problem I've had with giveaways is, all too often, people win a prize, then they never claim it. Okay, they say to me, oh, I've got to get permission to give you an address, and they say, oh, can you wait a month? Oh, can you wait 2 months? No, I don't want to hear about people like that. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to give me an address, I need to have a name with the address. Your name forms part of the address. If a prize doesn't land at your place because you haven't given me your name, you can't come back at me and say, oh, Leo, the prize never turned up. You need to give me a full address that includes a name. Postmen know places by names and the number of the house. Okay, that's how it works. There's going to be a time limit to when you can claim the prize, okay? I've got to do this because I want to have this prize gift to people before Christmas lands this year, okay? I think that's fair. If I've got people playing games and saying, oh, just hang on, wait till I get permission or whatever, I don't want to know about you. I've had this happen all too often. In fact, the giveaway before this one, that's exactly what happened, and it really, really annoys me. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm starting to rant, but hey, maybe that's why I stopped doing giveaways. It's fairly rare that I do them these days. It's a very simple giveaway, okay? You don't really need to know about that secret card that I put into that pack, but it's worthwhile investigating. I was quite curious about that car, okay? Is it trash? Is it treasure? What is your Christmas wish list? Are you going to be greedy, or are you going to be nice? Good luck in the giveaway.